This is things you might not have heard. I am Jacob Payne. I thank you so much for being with us on this Wednesday, and we're glad to be here. Had some issues yesterday, some glitches that just could not be overcome. So, unfortunately, no Tuesday edition of the show, but we did get the newsletter out, so we have that day to do for our weekly wrap up. The roundup we'll take care of with stories from yesterday. So, if you worry about that, which most people aren't, we got that covered. But we think, yeah, thank you for all the folks who reached out yesterday asking about what happened yesterday. All is fine, all is well. Just couldn't get over some things on that Tuesday. Sometimes you have to take a break, and the world, the universe will tell you to take a break. It happened in the middle of the show yesterday. Today, hopefully not the same glitches, hopefully not the same issues going forward. So we have 8 stories in the queue, and three of them, one is sort of an outskirt. Three of them are definitely Donald Trump stories. That's happening. Plus, Super Bowl LIX is in place, and the Doomsday Clock, the almost Donald Trump story, is there. Plus, uh, four other stories. Three other stories. Math not good in head this morning. Going forward with that one. We'll talk about those and other stories there. We'll explain how they got to be in this thing here, how I picked them for today, although you picked them first, and more things coming forward. But remind you right now for more details about what we do, how we do it, and the whys behind it. Well, the Conversation Project lives online at this, conversationproject.com. All the calls to actions basically go back to the website. All the things you can do there are there. Otherwise, check out our email address, which via your Google machine. Email us at the conversation inbox at gmail.com, where all your comments, complaints, and concerns are taken care of. I said the day, but not the date. It is the 29th of January, 2025, a Wednesday. And on this Wednesday, we've got 8 stories queued up, ready to go. No particular order except for the best way to do the narrative, if you will, for these stories. Let's start off with headline number one this morning. And the headline reads Trump confirms New Jersey drones were authorized, some quotes, after criticizing Biden's silence. This is a word we're getting from I guess, the very first briefing of the new press secretary. She had a lot of work to do for her first briefing. And one of the things she did was talk about the late 2024 drone sightings over New Jersey, which caused concerns and freaked everybody out, including folks just curious about the drones and what was happening. Was it aliens? Was it us spying on ourselves? Was it the Chinese doing really, really slow drones overhead? Time, President-elect Donald Trump criticized the Biden administration for its lack of transparency regarding what was going on, and basically said, "Just shoot the damn things down." So Donald Trump's been in office for 8 days, has reviewed the systems, things going on. He released a statement via the White House press secretary Caroline Leavitt, who announced that the Federal Aviation Administration has authorized all those drones for research and recreational purposes. Any drone that was flying around that was freaking people out basically had clearance or was checked up pretty quickly, and nothing nefarious was found. He emphasized that many of the drones were operated by hobbyists and private individuals. So this was not the enemy. This was just, jerk offs being jerk offs for the most part. Now, it aligns with earlier assessments that the FAA was saying there's nothing really wrong, nothing to see here, nothing going on. But Trump had a chance to put a dig into Biden for not being more transparent what was going on because nothing was going on. Everything seemed lawful, nothing was nefarious. There was no spying going on. But because Biden didn't say that and Trump now said that, it's still Biden's fault. This one is Trump's fault. Trump fired the EEOC and labor board officials, many of them, setting up a legal battle going forward for these jobs and these roles. And happening also on the yesterday, President Trump dismissed two Democratic commissioners from the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, Charlotte Burrows, the former chairwoman, and Jocelyn Samuels. Additionally, he terminated the EEOC's general counsel, Caroline Gilbride. These actions have effectively removed the quorum of 5 members of the commission, and the ability to enforce any workplace discrimination laws. You may see a theme here, whether you're agreeing or disagreeing with the theme. You may see a theme here. Parallel move happened when President Trump also dismissed Gwen Wilcox, Democratic member of the National Labor Relations Board, NLRB, and Jennifer Abruzzo, the NLRB's general counsel as well. These unprecedented firings have left the NLRB without a quorum, carrying its capacity to adjudicate cases related to federal labor law violations. You may see a pattern here, whether you agree or disagree with the point of the pattern, you may see a pattern here. The administration has justified these dismissals by citing objections to the commission's and the commission's support of diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, which President Donald Trump contends lead to discriminatory practices. However, the removal of the officials labeled the actions are unlawful and considered legal challenges emphasizes determinations to compromise the independence of federal agencies. The president just can't fire folks just because he wants to fire folks. This is not private enterprise. This is not, no fault. You can't do that. There are paper trails. It may be hard to fire government officials, but you can't just get rid of them because you didn't feel like it. It doesn't happen. The development sparking significant controversy among anticipated legal battles of all the people that the president wants to get rid of his authority being extended and motion to extend his authority over independent federal agencies. Basically, if no one can check the guy, he can get away with more stuff. So if you fire everybody that checks you, you can get away with more stuff. That's the plan. You may see a pattern here. Whether you agree or disagree, you may see a pattern here. A judge has temporarily blocked a policy that Trump put in place that was meant to freeze all federal grant funding, or most of it, 98%. Happening yesterday, something that was done basically Monday, a block in federal grants was blocked for a couple of days. U.S. District Judge Lauren Aikman, Alicon, that temporarily blocked President Trump's executive order to freeze federal grants and loans. Freeze announced by the Office of Management and Budget aimed to pause disbursements to review funding for programs related to diversity, equity, and inclusion. See a pattern here. And also environmental initiatives. Critics argue that the freeze could disrupt essential services, including healthcare research and education programs. The judge's decision maintains the current funding until the hearing can be held to federal February the 3rd. So in about a week or so, they'll have a hearing to see what's going on and actually get a joint effort to go on this. I work in education. I work for a historically black college, and Trump very famously, along with Kellyanne Conway, putting her feet up on the couch because that's got a lot of count there, was very generous to HBCUs early on in his and throughout his entire 10th tenure as number 45. So a big check to support HBCUs, kind of get them going, keep them in the running for this education from all in that case. Now, anything that seems like it's not of the, I'm going to say this out loud, really like diversity, which is not diverse, essentially being attacked. And one thing a lot of people were looking for right here with the issues in education itself, my place in particular, a black college that tends to help out and tends to serve more underprivileged people to make sure they get their degrees and go into greater things. We were expecting something nice to happen in a month or so, and we're not seeing that with this one. Holding back on funds is an issue. Holding back on funds, and a lot of university presidents have addressed this as this is the temporary hold, and this should not affect what's going on. Just keep vigilant and keep paying attention to what's going to happen. These are sent to be reviews. Turning off the spigot while you take a look at where the leak's coming from, which is fine. But turn off the spigot with no intention of turning on the spigot back and just basically turn it in. Intention to basically turning the water off in general is not fine. And we're going to find out more about these things as patterns seem to crop up in the way things are working for the administration of 47. This is not a Trump story per se. This is really the doomsday clock. And well, it is a doomsday clock. It's basically the fears of nuclear catastrophe. And we got a little closer to midnight. Almost out of time again, based on the bulletin of the atomic scientists advancing doomsday clock, 89 seconds before midnight, 289 seconds before midnight, marking the closest point in global catastrophe since it was brought up in 1947. The adjustment reflects heightened concerns over several existential threats. Nuclear risk is out there, and this is what we've been seeing for almost 2 years now, or a bit more actually, based on math. Ukraine and Russia. Russia threatened from day one, we're throwing nukes at you guys, don't act right, and they're still having that threat out there. That's saber rattling, but it's still there. Also, the Middle East and Korean peninsulas are growing their arsenal. Korea wants to get a big nuke so they can really cause some damage in some cases, or at least make some noise. And the Middle East, the region there, things aren't really great. They're not as bad as they've been, not really great. Of course, climate change, which some people are fussing about not happening, and some people are saying, well, we're running out of time, is a big deal. 2024 was reported as the hottest year on record, and understand the urgency to address the change. This is not a nuclear catastrophe, but it is a something really bad. We also have emerging technologies. AI is scaring the hell out of people. We're not sure if machines will take over and kill us, or they'll just make us really dumb and play Candy Crush all day. Machines are an issue. And other threats to biological issues, such as COVID-19, the pandemic we had, which was in full effect 2 years ago. The fact that, let's just say, we let that get away from us is an issue to be a little concerned about. Doomsday Clock serves as a symbolic representation of humanity's proximity to self destruction, aiming to raise awareness and prompt action to mitigate these threats. Current setting underscores critical need for international cooperation and effective policy for measures to ensure global safety. It is kind of a gimmick. It is a thing that was really big back, in the 80s. It was all over the place. But right now, it's a gimmick that doesn't get the play it does because it's not getting pressure. Quick pause in the news stories. A break in what we're covering. We have four more stories left that were queued up for you guys. You helped us pick them. We'll after those four stories of the headlines. Right now, a quick chance to offer up a chance for you to help us out going forward. We're asking you right now to like, share, and subscribe to the work we do. The video we have right here, we're just streaming live-ish, just streams live 5:30 every single weekday morning, and of course, in replays throughout the ether, or whether we do some of our clips or something off of our newsletter or one of our podcasts. Like, share, and subscribe so we get more people up to do more of these things. If you like it, I know I picked the right stories. I have the right tone. Things going well, and the algorithm will shoot this to other people, and they will hopefully watch it, like it, keep to it as well. Sharing it with people who you already know have the same sort of thought process, looking for this sort of news. Maybe they're not looking for this sort of news. They want to get angry about it as well, and they may share it with other folks to either hate watch or love watch. We'll take anything we can, and subscribe so you make sure this is in your feed or notifications given to you to go live on things like this. This goes live on X, on Facebook, and on YouTube at about 5:30 every weekday morning. And so when it comes to feed, you get a quick jost, jolt of the news and get your day started, or watch a bit later and see how things are going and so we're reflecting what's going on. Also, to get subscriptions and also notifications for the clips we do throughout the day that do updates on other news stories and just special things as well. Back to the news. Back to Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, because as people have been commenting in the comments, we've been covering this for a while since it was like a small thing, then a lawsuit. It's got really ugly. With all the things going on, why are we covering Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively? Because all the things going on, it's the most conversational stories. And these are two actors, actresses, producers who are sort of middling sort of folks. In fact, some people comment that Blake Lively, you know, B level at best, and only basically has a little bit of fame because she's married to Ryan Reynolds. And Baldoni is kind of like, who is this guy? I guess he's okay in the industry. I don't know who he is. But there was a leaked voice note going back and forth in this um, legal battle, that legal battles, if you will, with Baldoni apologizing to Lively somewhere, somehow, some way. Baldoni apologized to co-star Blake Lively for his initial reaction to changes she proposed for a pivotal rooftop scene in the film. The film, of course, it ends with us. Ironically, the irony of the name just really popped in my head right now. Um, Baldoni expressed regret, stating, in a quote from the audio, excuse me, "I'm really sorry. I for sure fell short on you and worked really hard on that." He acknowledged that his shortcomings and praised Lively's contributions, noting that her revisions made the scene, quote, "so much more fun and interesting." He commented on her support system, mentioning husband Ryan Reynolds and friend Taylor Swift as, quote, "two of the most creative people on the planet." Apology comes amid ongoing legal disputes between the two actors. Lively is Baldoni for sexual assault, and Baldoni is countersuing for defamation. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's a mess. It's messy. It's not really all that interesting, but we're all very interested in this mess that is really, really messy. So I'm gonna keep putting it out there, keep engaging with it. We're gonna keep talking about it. A chance to talk about Jake Paul and or Logan Paul getting punched in the face is a chance I'm always going to take. And apparently, there's a fight set between the brothers Logan, brothers Jake, brothers Paul, with a boxing match ending in a twist. Now, here's where it gets, terrible and turns into the boys destroying us again. Yesterday, the Logan brothers put out some YouTube videos teasing a potential event scheduled for March 20th to be streamed on Max. They shared identical social media posts featuring face-off images and captions. The moment you've all been waiting for a decade. Paraphrase, put it out, whatever. So it seems like it's a boxing match, but indications from folks inside say it's really just a reality show. They're going after each other on a actual reality show, not on YouTube, but on Max. Specific details have not been disclosed. We shall see. Now, Jake and Logan Paul both have some fairly impressive um, records. They're actually not that bad athletes. Not that, Jake is not so much bad boxer. He just isn't boxing actual opponents for actual titles, beating up YouTube stars and washed up athletes. So it's there. We will see how this thing plays out. Of course, we'll see what happens when it comes to us on the 21st of March and realize Jim Acosta not going to get again. He is officially leaving CNN after decades with the network as one of the leading anchors on the network. Prominent anchor, former White House chief of staff correspondent, and one of the highest rated guys on the network. People tune in to watch Jim Acosta because he says it like he says it, and no one can basically back him down off his points. Is leaving after 18 years with the network. It follows the move to move him from 10 a.m. a morning show slot to a midnight slot. Is going to extend his time and give him all time to do whatever to do the after midnight stuff and just be Jim Acosta. Now, midnight Eastern time is of course 10 p.m. West Coast time, so it means an expanded audience for the West Coast, but also means it's midnight Eastern time. Acosta said, "It's not a podcast." He urged viewers to resist the lies and fear, emphasizing the importance of truth and hope. He plans to continue his journalistic endeavors independently and through Substack, which is where everyone's today. So you can pay him directly, pay us with contributions and partnerships through Substack and through wherever he'll do his journalism in bits and pieces for hire. CNN, of course, had the canned response, expressing gratitude and dedication for contributions over the years. Jim Acosta basically saying, "I'm not going for this. I know the stuff needs to be done from the network. I know I'm going to midnight because it's appeasing Trump. I'll do them one better. I'll just go away for a bit and come back 2 days later." We're gonna miss Jim Acosta. Everyone will miss Jim Acosta. Even the MAGA news folks will miss Jim Acosta as a someone to target their anger and fear at. But this is a guy, you know, I I I, I I obviously don't have his career, don't have his let's say charisma, don't have his background. But if I did, trust me, I would probably feel the same back what's going on. We've got a long 4 years, folks. Me and this little janky YouTube internet thing, it might not cut it, but we're gonna see what we can do. Jim Acosta is gonna do what he can do on the outside. Godspeed to you. We usually don't talk about the stories we don't talk about unless it's something in a teaser story, but there are plenty of things we didn't get to, including I could have filled all 8 stories with things Trump did in the last 2 days and didn't, and things that he didn't flip-flopped, of course, the thought process on the funding for loans and fundings, which was put out there and then took away and put out away things. So we're not talking about one of the big stories out there, which you have to put your own, and that is a YouTuber, a social media personality who's suing Lyft because the Lyft driver that went to pick her up said she was too big for his car. And if you see the person and the car, you would kind of wonder why this lawsuit's going forward. No shaming, just some things are just people looking for attention. Want attention coming up in 2 weeks. You might want to be somewhere near the Superdome because you probably get all the eyeballs you want to. Because people in the seats may be something that's a bit of a lackluster thing. Super Bowl 59 tickets. Super Bowl scheduled for February the 9th at Caesars Superdome in New Orleans. Kansas City Chiefs and Philadelphia Eagles may not be such a big deal after all if you want to grab a ticket. Now, the average price of Ticket Smarter is $7,230. Game Time has prices from 4,500 to 31,000, and SeatGeek is selling some for the yard line tickets, good seats on the cheap side, specifically for 17 to $43,000. Now that sounds like money, like a lot of money, but it's actually low. The previous year's Super Bowl had average price tickets for all tickets at 12,000. These average tickets are right there, and the reason behind fatigue, not football fatigue, not Eagles fatigue, because they want to fly EAGLES's EGE, however you want to spell it. The Chiefs. The Chiefs have been to the Super Bowl like 4 to 5 years. Yes, and the Chiefs are going for a three-peat in that last 2 years and going for this going forward. So people may be tired of the Chiefs. If you see one of those memes online, you see a picture of the United States and circle around Kansas City and circle around Philadelphia and the rest of the blank where the rest of the world is hoping that a meteor falls inside the game. So, that's when this reality happens. We'll die because they'd rather not root for the Chiefs or the Eagles. It's where that's coming from. So, Chiefs fatigue. Some people calling them the luckiest, almost undefeated team of the season. Some people calling them a bunch of cheaters. Some people calling them just overrated. Some people just tired of the Chiefs. Don't like Mahomes to auto going all the time. Some people hate Taylor Swift somehow, some way. Don't get it. A lot of people hate Brittany Mahomes. There's a lot of hate going towards Brittany Mahomes. But no matter how you slice it, the game happens in 2 weeks, so people will watch it. People will buy these tickets, especially if they're on discount. Find a way to pay $1,200. I'm not sure about that much. But yeah, someone will find a way to get to that game coming up in a few weeks. We talked about teasers. Now's the time to talk about our teaser story. A teaser story is a story, a headline that we are putting out there for you to engage in and going a chance to explain how we get the stories into you every single morning here on the Conversation Projects, things you might have heard. Our teaser story is something that's either by the time you see this going out live, it's either posted or in the queue, posted really soon after the live presentation. Today's teaser story is FDA updates Frito-Lay potato chips recall, your highest risk level due to undeclared milk. This may not be the most earth-shattering story, but it's a big one because all the recalls, all the food. Someone noted later that we seem to have a lot of recalls. And it's actually a proof that our system works because it's catching on stuff. However, why are we so lazy and crashing them? Some things get out the way, get out of hand. This is a story that you can engage in. You simply go to our feeds on Facebook and X. Facebook.com/, this is Conversation Project, and X.com/, TH_conversation. I am told by the good people at Loonly, who I use to reschedule these stories, that they're working really hard to get something on Blue Sky so I can publish Blue Sky there as well. We also publish the threads, but right now the stats are very good, so getting the stats from there has been an issue. We go to those feeds every 50 minutes or so. We post news articles such as this one here. If you see it, you like it, maybe you hate it, maybe you're just a bit indifferent of it, engage in it so that we know it's something worth talking about. Click the emoji face on Facebook that corresponds. Click the heart on X. Respond to it with your comments and share it with the folks. The higher the engagement score, the social media platforms and knows what posts get engagement by various ways. And higher the engagement score for all these stories that go through today, there's a chance we have talking about it. Tomorrow, 8 stories will be queued up from the 30 or so stories you get in the daytime. We'll get 16 or so of those stories to look at and sift through those with 8 stories going forward. That's why it's important to like them. And if you don't like the stories or you like the stories very much, email me with your comments on the stories that were picked because sometimes some get lost. We teased yesterday a story about an Indiana man who was pardoned by Trump for the January 6th riot, who was shot and killed by deputies during a traffic stop. So that's happening. And of the things we did Trump today, that one got trumped. So if you want the right Trumps, if you will, let me know what you want to see and make sure it gets a lot of play so we can fit in there. Doomsday Clock was a lower level story that wasn't the most engaging, but was in range. And every so often I bring it up because it seems like an anomaly thing is. So we brought it up. We talked Doomsday Clock. That was one less story about Donald Trump directly, if you will. Let's move on because we must. We're moving on to our sponsor segment. And one more time, with feelings time, we're going to push this one tomorrow and Friday. We will put something else that's a bit more commerce worthy. Because of the work of the USA, yesterday had a very good talk on this book here 100 Daily Affirmations for Positive Confidence. Got some good reviews. Some of that some of it's warranted. Some of it I got some criticism because I always get that yellow, a little bit bad, a carrot and a stick. So I got some good reviews for the speech. I'll work on it and take it on the road a little bit further a little later. But for right now, 100 Daily Affirmations for Positive and Confidence is yours for the taking. To the link inside this presentation. Searching 100 affirmations pane wherever you buy your books. It's on various platforms in paperback and on Kindle for electronic book. Maybe in some libraries. I heard about that happening. So I'm working on a deal to put it in some libraries. That'd be awesome. But what's awesome about this book is a very simple book that allows you to understand how affirmations work and try a few for yourselves. And it does that by explaining how affirmations work and gives you 100 different ones. Some of them are sort of similar, 100 things are the same thing, and gives you for each affirmations a reason why they actually work. It may be something that'll help you boost your confidence, make you fight some negative thoughts in your head, things like that. Why this affirmation may work, and of course, it's got the caveat: if the words don't quite work perfectly for you, rewrite it to make it work. I ask you to check this book out. We used to last year did a lot of promotion, had a daily affirmation for you to go through, and we got say it's positive from that one. But we went through the list about 1 1/3 period of time, and we decided to hit the actual broadcast to take it away. Do it on your own, check it out. We were working on some sort of affirmation website or something to do a daily affirmation. We work on that. Some of the journaling things as well. So that type of stuff. Look for those things coming soon as part of More Better Media. But if you just want to check out this book and help further out, 100 daily affirmations for positivity and confidence. $10 on paperback. It is $5 on Amazon electronic. Check it out. Anywhere your books are, you can find paperback, a Kindle for electronics, and enjoy yourself. Enjoy what it can do for you, and help a brother out with a little bit of a love towards the conversation and for better as well. Right now, we're going to go to our back to us, back to commenting on the Conversation Project. We live online at this. It's a conversation project.com. That's our online home. That's our website. That's where we put the stuff. That's where we store our stuff. One person, personal development and fitness podcaster that I listened to back in the day, explained why he was always proud to keep his gym membership, even on times when he was busy and couldn't and would take like a few weeks and couldn't go to the gym because it was a place to store all of his stuff, all the gym equipment. He didn't have to store it in his garage or his bedroom, his office. He just go to his storage locker, so that's to hold it for him. That's what the Conversation Project is for us. It holds all of our stuff. It holds past episodes of the Competition Project, past things we've done, links to our sponsors. They're all affiliate sponsors, so we get a commission for you buying from them. Links to our partnership links, pages, and ways you can donate directly to us, contribute to what's happening here. Links to our origin story, or how our origin story works, which we tweak every so often to make it to expand on it. Well, we're not changing it. We're just expanding on it, making it work a little better for all of us. Check it out at our website. This is conversationproject.com. The most important thing you can do for us is follow us on our feeds, Facebook, engage in the stories that come down every day. The engagement gives us the stories and the things to talk about. It's that simple. We don't have a show without engagement to give us stories to choose from. The best better ones to go from. And of course, emailing me with your comments and concerns via the email address, the conversation box at gmail. We're done. We're wrapped up. Got it all done for the day. This has been Things You Might Have Heard for Wednesday, January the 29th, 2025. As I say often, if this is your main news source, God bless you. But if this is your main news source, we are an aggregator. We are here to give you some of the stories that people really are chatting up about. It's not, whatever CNN boss talk about why Acosta's gone. It's literally talking about the stories from all different places, all different sources that you want to get into. And we do that gladly here. It's also labor intensive and uses resources. So we can use your help by making sure we're engaging in things so it makes that part worthy. And if you want to help with assistance wise, go to the partnerships page, go to our sponsors, ask me how you can help out directly and see what's going on there as well. Um, Love you guys, mean it. And I thoroughly enjoy the expanded conversation we've been having in comments and in emails going back and forth. This has really proven to be a very diverse audience. And I'm happy to say that some of the diversity is showing ways where people don't like me very much. Or don't like the words I'm saying, which is fine because we're having conversations, mostly civils, mostly without profanity, but some profanity is kind of, if you will. Thank you so much for putting up with me. As I said, we're working on a second channel, maybe a third channel if you want to be honest. We have other channels and things that's going to focus more on me going into the commentary part so I can say the things I kind of want to say and not be held back by the facts, if you will. Although that's not true, they'll be based off facts. But more of the commentary, more of the things that kind of give you blowing off steam, as opposed to going to giving you the news articles and issues as they should be portrayed with the facts. Which is what this is about here. This is about things that you might have heard, and these are about details that you might have missed. You want to get those things, but if you want to get more of my commentary and humor, call it that, it's coming very soon. Thank you so much. Love you. Mean it. We're out of here. Have a great Wednesday. 2 more days of this to come.